by the looks of my watch, it's officially grave time. Hey folks, today I'm in Woodland, California, located in Yolo County. Woodland is located 20 miles northwest of Sacramento. And I'm here at the Woodland City Cemetery. This is now my third visit to this beautiful cemetery, full of great and interesting tombstones dating back to the mid-1800s. One of the subjects that I'm here to visit today is a man by the name of James KENSEN Smith. He lived a very interesting life, and what is really interesting is that he had an encounter with a wild man. Today we refer to wild man as Bigfoot and Sasquatch. However, in 1891 those terms did not exist. Actually, the term Bigfoot did not exist until 1958, and the term Sasquatch was a First Nations terminology out of British Columbia, which stands for hairy man. This is the grave of James KENSEN Smith. Throughout the rest of this video, I'm going to refer to him as Mr. Smith. He was born in Richmond, Virginia on June 10th, 1831. And passed away in Woodland, California on September 29th, 1910. He lived to be 79 years old. At age 8 years old, his family moved from Richmond, Virginia to Glasgow, Missouri. His dad was an old soldier who fought in the 1812 war. His mom had passed away when he was 4 years old. And when he became 18 years old, him and 3 other neighborhood boys bought a wagon and an oxes and headed westward to California. In September of 1850, they made it to Placerville, California. From there, Mr. Smith took up mining in the town of Rough and Ready. While there, he became a member of the Freemasonry. In 1857, he became a California citizen, and while living in Nevada County under the Republican Party, became a state assemblyman for 10 years. From there, he moved to Yolo County and became state secretary, state treasurer, and a county assessor, among other political ambitions. He owned 2 grocery stores. He also owned a furniture store, and for a period of time was the local undertaker. While in Yolo County, specifically Woodland, he continued on with his Freemasonry and also joined the Oddfellows, among a couple other fraternal organizations as well. He was a member of the Christian Church and was well known and well liked. He absolutely loved God and was a very charitable person, very much likable within his community and well respected. Now just take a moment here about his family life. He met his wife Abby in 1859 in Sutter County in the tiny town of Nicholas, California. They had a total of 8 kids, 6 daughters and 2 sons. From here, as we say goodbye to the Woodland City Cemetery until next time, we leave Woodland, California and head northwest to the tiny town of Rumsey, California, still located in Yolo County. This is where the wild man story takes place, and it was documented by the Woodland Daily Democrat on April 9th, 1891.
What is it? An unheard of monstrosity seen in the woods above Rumsey. Mr. Smith, a well-known citizen of northern Capay Valley in Yolo County, California, called on us today and tells us the following strange story, which we would be loath to believe if it were not for the fact that he is an old acquaintance of this office, and has always borne a spotless reputation. Several days ago, Mr. Smith, together with a party of hunters, were above Rumsey, California hunting. One morning Mr. Smith started out early in quest of game. He had not gone far when his attention was attracted by a peculiar noise that seemed to come from an oak tree that stood nearby. Looking up, Mr. Smith was startled to see gazing at him what was apparently a man clothed in a suit of shaggy fur. Having heard of wild man, he naturally placed upon his guard, but thinking that he would see what virtue there was in kindness, he called to the supposed man to come down, as he was filled with nothing but the kindest motives. This speech did not have the desired effect, rather the opposite, for the strange thing gave grunts of unmistakable anger. Believing that discretion was the better part of valor, our informant stood not upon the order of his going, but went at once in a beeline for the camp. After placing some distance between himself and the strange creature, the hunter turned around just in time to see it descend the trees. Upon reaching the ground, instead of standing upright as a man would, it commenced to trot along on the ground as a dog or any other animal would do. Mr. Smith then realized that it was no hermit he had seen, but some kind of monstrosity such as he had never heard of, much less seen before. The hunter stood amazed and spellbound for a moment, but soon gathered his scattered senses again and was soon making his best speed to camp, where in a few breathless words he was telling his companions of what he had seen. They were disposed to laugh at him at first, but his sincerityness of manner and his blanched cheeks soon proved to them that he had seen something out of the usual order of things. A hasty council was held, and the party decided to go in search of the monster, so taking their guns and dogs they were piloted by Mr. Smith, to whom they soon came in sight of the unnamed animal. In the meantime it had commenced to devour the contents of Mr. Smith's game bag that he had dropped in his hasty retreat. The creature would plunge its long arms or legs into the bag and, pulling forth the small game that was in it, transferred it to its mouth in a most disgusting manner. An effort was made to set the dogs upon it, but they crouched at their master's heels and gave vent to the most piteous whines. The whines attracted the attention of the nondescript, and it commenced to make the most unearthly yells and screams, at the same time fleeing to the undergrowth some half a mile distant, upon which the wild party immediately gave chase. They soon gained upon the strange beast, and it, seeing that such was the case, suddenly turned, and sitting upon its haunches commenced to beat its breast with its hairy fists. It would break off the great branches of trees that were around it and snap them as easily as if they had been so many toothpicks. Once it pulled up a sapling 5 inches through at the base, and snapping it in twain brandished their lower part over its head much after the same manner a man would sling a club. The hunters, seeing that they had a creature with the strength of a gorilla to contend with, beat a hasty retreat to camp, which soon broke up, fearing a visit from their chance acquaintance. Mr. Smith describes the animal as being about 6 feet high when standing, which it did not do perfectly but bent over after the manner of a bear. Its head was very much like that of a human being. The trapeze's muscles were very thick and aided much in giving the animal its brutal look. The brow was low and contracted, while the eyes were deep set, giving it a wicked look. It was covered with long shaggy hair except the head, where the hair was black and curly. Mr. Smith says that of late sheep and hogs to a considerable extent have disappeared in his vicinity, and their disappearance can be traced to the hiding place of the what is it. Among those who have suffered are Henry Sharp, Jordan Sumner, Herman Laird, and J.C. Treadle. Here is a chance for some energetic young man to start a dime museum and acquire a fortune within a very few years. Anyone wishing to learn more about this peculiar monstrosity can do so by calling on our informant, who will no doubt take a delight in piloting them to the dangerous vicinity of the late scene of action.
Now, this particular article about the wild man sighting above Rumsey, California, was transcribed from a man by the name of Bill Wells. He's a contributor to a website called BigfootEncounters.com. And recently having a conversation with my friend George, whose wife had a Bigfoot encounter when she was 9 years old in the mid-1950s, when she lived in Esparto, which is located in Yolo County. That video to come in the near future. But I got curious and was wondering what other Bigfoot encounters have taken place in Yolo County. So I went ahead and Googled it, and I typed in Yolo County Bigfoot, and this is the article that popped up. If you're interested in seeing this article, I will gladly have a link down below in the description so you could read it for yourself. I've actually even gone as far as to look it up on newspapers.com and actually recovered the actual article. So it does exist. The article does exist. And this is a very interesting story. And this actually marks the third Bigfoot video I've made based out of Northern California, and there is more to come. Of course, I will continue on with cemeteries and lost landmarks and just California history altogether. But I have to admit that I'm very much fascinated by the topic of Bigfoot, and I have since I was 12 years old. More to come. This concludes this episode of Grave Time. If you made it this far through the 11 plus minutes of this video, congratulations. And as always, thank you for watching this episode of Grave Time. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and be sure to hit that notification bell so you can be in the loop of the next Grave Time adventure. And also give this video a big thumbs up, because there are plenty of people out there who believe in this type of thing, and I want them to see this video. As always, God bless you and have a wonderful day. Bye.